This is Disc Golf David. I'm David. This is Jeb Bryant, PDGA number
24658.
It's a low number. We're out here at Sunshine Acres in Knightdale, North Carolina. It's a beautiful course, and we're going to do a quick interview before we go through this place.
Get another reason. We're not going to Harry Potter. Yeah, I'm just taking it, skipping it.
So Jeb, you've been playing disc golf for how long, man?
21 years.
21 years. So what was the first disc you got?
Oh man, back then there weren't so many discs. In the little town I started playing in, you could only get it from one store. So we were all throwing old Sharks and Morays. I think my first disc was a Moray.
My second disc was a Shark.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I still have one of the first ones. It's 20 years old now. It's gonna fall apart if I ever throw it again. But,
So if you don't mind, how old are you now?
I just turned 40. Just turned Master's age this year.
Oh, I feel bad for those 40-year-olds now. You're going to be tearing it up out there. So, do you still have the first disc you bought?
I'm not sure. I have a Shark that I was throwing when I first started, so I kind of consider that the first disc. And I still have it. It'll break if I ever throw it.
What's your favorite disc? Like in your bag, what's your go-to disc? What do you grab when you're in a time of need?
I really like my AVRs. I always carry a bunch of them, and I like spinning those and getting all touchy with them and pulling off some different looks and different types. I like flicking them when I need to scramble or those tricky upshots. So I have to say AVR, particularly those beadless ones. Those are my faves.
So Jeb, who was the first person that took you out to play golf?
Oh man! So when I got to East Carolina in the fall of 2000, there was a bunch of my friends that had just picked up the sport. So I probably have to say Chris Bertram, who's I went to high school with and a longtime friend of mine. He probably was the first one to take me out. Those woods of the old East Carolina course.
Now, what drove you to get better?
Oh man, I picked up disc golf really quickly. I remember that first time out playing the old East Carolina course. It was a really good beginner course, but I beat some of the guys I went out with. And it was because I'd been throwing frisbees like crazy leading up to that point. A friend of mine and I were just throwing frisbees back and forth for about a year, just every chance we got. And so as soon as I got out of the disc golf course, it kind of clicked, and I was like, oh man, I've been training for this. I love this. And it was that next month I was going out by myself trying to get better, just because I knew that I could get good at this, and I really enjoyed it.
What is your favorite course out of all the courses you played in your career? What's the one course that you can think of right now that stands out in your mind?
Well, there's a lot of good courses. I've been able to play so many fantastic ones. I can't think of a course I enjoy throwing more than Hawk Hollow up in Virginia. It's so much fun to go up there and throw. It doesn't have all the amenities because it's a functioning cattle farm, but those throws out there, there's so much. It's just fun. They say that course has 13 signature holes. It's hard to argue with that.
Wow, I've never been. I've heard things. I've never heard. That's a great review though. Like, what course is on your bucket list? One you see the pros play, or just one you've heard about?
Yeah, I should probably get down to the Canyon down in Brooksville, Florida. That was a big event when I first started competing as an amateur. Those events down there were always a hot item. A bunch of North Carolinians would always go down there. So I should probably go check those out. I should probably check out the IDGC too. Those I hear are really good. So those. That IDGC won't be hard to check off the bucket list. It might take a little bit more to get down to Brooksville.
Now, I've had the pleasure of playing with you a bunch because we live kind of close together. I know you always keep a calm demeanor through the game. No matter ups or downs, you kind of stay calm. What do you how do you do that?
Well, that golf demeanor is important to have. Not getting too high, not getting too low. That's just standard golf stuff. You can see that from the PGA players you see on TV. But it's just a generalness. Generally, how I roll is not too high, not too low. If you catch me on a Monday morning dealing with my network printer, you'll see me get hot. but that's about it. You got to keep it level.
When you show up at a tournament, is there like any kind of routine that you go through that helps you prepare for the day?
Yeah, for the day, not so much. I like a little stretching. I like to play catch a lot. That usually loosens me up, gets the heart rate beating a little bit, break a little bit of the sweat maybe, get you ready to throw all day. I don't usually take as many putts as I should, but taking 20 putts is always good.
Jeb, go in front of you. Yeah. It's a very good question. Nice work, Jeb.
Tidy.
It is.
I ace back in the day.
What tournament really stands out in your mind? Like, it was the one win that you kind of even still think back to now, and you're like, man, that was a cool win.
Yeah, it's got to be the 2008 Players Cup. That was my hometown event. It was held at West Meadowbrook, which now hosts an A-tier, but back then it was still a smaller tournament. And Scotty Faison, who had really created the club and brought that course into existence and ran our event for that many years, was on his way out. He raised a ton of money, $5 grand at it, and for a B tier, that was a big deal. And I got hot, particularly that last round. Got 18 out of 20 birdies, came back and beat Schwebe for a payout check that had a comment in it. That was a big deal at home.
You beat Schwebe.
Well, it was one of the first times.
Woo! If you live in North Carolina, you know that's a hard feat to come by.
You should have seen it in 2008.
Oh man, I'm talking now. I never got to see Schwebe back then. Now, I know you could be sponsored. Have you ever been offered a sponsorship?
Yeah, I kind of made some mistakes with that. Well, I say that. I had some smaller companies supporting me. Poor Boy Discs was an early one. I don't think they're in existence anymore, but they were an early, mid 2000s online retailer out of Ohio. They were real good to me for those last few years. Jim Engelman down in Greenville with his Ace gear was always fantastic to us. I never got a big title sponsor. I always wanted to get into it. It was what all my friends were growing and sponsored by the guys I looked up to, and I kind of held out for that. Back in maybe 2009, Steve Dodge had called me up, seeing if I wanted to come on with the Vibrant guys. And I didn't like that plastic very much, and I wasn't prepared to switch over to it. And then later I realized you didn't have to do that with Vibrant. You just had to throw what you could and keep everything else in your bag because they had a limited selection. And I wish I had gotten on with those guys for sure. I could have tapped out with a few of those short putters that would have shown them off, waved to the crowd.
Now, do you think if you would have grabbed that little Vibrant sponsorship, that you could have catapulted yourself into possibly getting that sponsorship you wanted?
I'm not sure. It wouldn't have hurt. I know that now. I really thought I was going to get some love from Innova, but our region was always kind of oversaturated, so they never really looked at me. I played well enough, but living in the shadow of Schweberger and other really good pros, it was hard to get wins, even though I played a lot of quality golf.
You're finishing well, but you're just not getting the W's.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Is there any advice that you would give to an amateur player or someone just getting into the game where they've realized, hey, this is something I really want to try to push and pursue?
Yeah, you got to practice, and practice isn't just going out and playing golf. You got to intentionally try to get better at shots, and you got to play. There's no substitute for experience. Play, try to get better. There's so many resources these days, watching videos, tutorials, stuff like that. There's stuff out there that can help your game along. but it's not going to mean anything if you're not out there repeating and getting better.
Do you have one thing that I'm not going to probably practice the most that you find is the key to having a great game?
Well, if you're feeling comfortable inside the circle, that's important. That makes everything else so much easier. When you're feeling confident putting, you don't have that pressure to get everything close anymore. Just worry about hitting that first gap instead of the next three, and because you'll be solid on the green.
Is there any, like this past 2 years, is there a point series or anything? 'Cause I know we have the North Carolina point series in the state. Is there anything that you've won that you can kind of like say you culminated the whole year of good play together and took it home?
Well, I took down your series, the private course series around here.
You can say it's fun.
The homegrown series. That was fun. I made a lot of events. I wasn't going to play a lot of events this year, and then after winning 3 in a row, I said, well, I might as well give this a try. And I think I won another 3 after that. Some pretty spectacular play here and there too.
Yeah, there was 4 events left, and we were like, well, that's locked up.
It was a good time getting around, getting up to the mountains, seeing all those courses and all those friendly discs.
I got one more question for you. What's your favorite color disc?
Oh man, it's definitely white. It's definitely white. They're so easy to find. I'm a little funny with my colors. I throw white and yellow and green and pretty much anything between those. I don't like looking for this that much. And I have a dog that finds them when I really need her to. So
Tila's a good girl.
Tila is the best girl. I wish she was here. She's spawing down with my parents until Christmas. She's the real star. I'll send you a clip.
Well, Jeb, thank you for taking your time out of the day to speak with me. This is Disc Golf David. I'm David. Jeb Bryant, PDGA number
24658.
Enova. Come on!
I'm in the 94th percentile of Spotify users for amount of minutes.
We're out here at Sunshine Acres, man. This place is fantastic. It's looking great. These guys are having a good time. I know this isn't the first time you've thrown here because you're a local to the area. Like, how do you feel about this course?
Oh, Sunshine's great. Technical, little tight course, baskets that demand some pure putting. It's a fantastic little spot. I've been coming out here since probably 2007, 2008, something like that.
I can agree with the baskets. I've doinked quite a few on out here. Hey guys, thank you for watching. Once again, this is Disc Golf David. I'm David. Like and subscribe. I'm out.